Aloha, it's Robert Stellick with Blue Planet. Today's video is going to be all about wing foiling. It's a new sport for me. I'm super stoked on it right now. I just started about 2 weeks ago, and I've been going out every day for the last 6 days. We've had some good wind. Been going out with Jeff Chang and Derek Hamasaki, and we've been getting some fun conditions, and we're all just learning it, so we're not perfect by any means, but we do have some good tips for you, how to get started, how to do it safely, and how to enjoy this fun new sport. For me, it's kind of having the stoke of first starting to foil all over again. It's super fun to go downwind without having to paddle. You catch the waves easily, you can let go of the wing when you're on a wave, and it's just so much fun to explore a new sport and try to get better at it. In the introduction, I'm going to go over the history of the sport a little bit, and then we're going to have a little tutorial for how to get started, safety and so on, and then have some footage of us riding, doing the basic maneuvers, jibing, tacking, going upwind, going downwind, and so on, riding a few waves as well. And then at the end, we'll have our wipeout reel showing you how not to do it. So wings are not really something new. It's been around for a while. Back in the 90s, there was the wind weapon. If you've been windsurfing back then, you probably remember that, like a wing mounted on a mast type of thing. But there's also been development in wings. People have been using them on ice, with ice skates or ice boards, in snow and wherever. Handheld wings are a really cool invention, and it's a great way to power yourself by using just the wind. Now, using foils with the wing is kind of a new thing. The new breed of wings that just kind of came out this year, really, uses inflatable bladders, much like a kite, inflatable kite. And it's actually mostly the kite companies that are coming out with these cool wings. And everybody's kind of coming out with their own version of it. It was surprisingly easy for me to learn. So if you have some background in windsurfing and if you know how to use a foil, then it should be quite easy for you to learn this new sport. And I can tell you right now, it's a lot easier to do than downwind foiling, where you paddle into the bumps, because it takes a lot less effort to get the wing flying and to keep yourself going. All you need to do is sheet in the wing a little bit and you keep going and you fly. Before taking the wing on the water, I first tried it on land. So for me, I just took it on with a skateboard in a parking lot and just got the feel for pulling it, pumping it, in light wind, having it pull me along, doing a jibe, turning around, going with the body kind of twisted, keeping the feet in the same stance, both directions. So just practicing holding the wing and how to keep it up and keep it from dropping down. So that was a really good experience for me. So you can also do that on the beach, and we'll show you how to do that. So here's just some pointers on getting started if you want to try your first session. So first of all, before you even get in the water, practice just handling the wing a little bit. Right now I'm just holding it over my head, getting the feel for it. This is a Duotone 4-meter wing. Keep your leash kind of loose on your wrist, loose enough so it can kind of twist around your hand, because sometimes you'll find your hand, the leash kind of twisted around your hand, so you want to be able to get it turning around easily. If you're surfing on a wave, you can actually let the wing go. I like to hold it in the front of the boom, this one. You can also hold the handle up here, but sometimes it kind of flops side to side like this and can flip over. So I like holding it on the boom. And then if you need power again, you can just put your hands back on the boom and pull it again. This is where it pulls. This is how you depower it. Just bring it over your head, and if you let the backhand go, there's very little power in the wing. So over your head and letting the back go is no power, and then to power it up, you bring it down a little bit, but never bring it down too far, because then it'll start pulling you down or hit the water. If you have the wing upside down in the water, the easiest way to turn it over is, get on your board, get on your knees on your board first. Then you can kind of lift the wing up and swing it into the wind and flip it over like this. So it's good to practice just flipping the wing over before you get out in the water. So just practice flipping it over, maybe both directions. Then grabbing the boom, holding it over you, bringing it down. You don't want to bring it too low. You don't want the tip to touch the water. Just keep it up. And you can pump it a little bit. So just get the feel for it, play around with the wing, understand what it does. Lift up your front arm to bring bring it up. Drop your front arm to bring it down. So you got to steer the wing with your arms. You can practice turning on the beach. Start with a jibe, which is turning downwind. So you do that by letting the backhand go, turn around, switch sides in the front, and then have it pull you the other way. And then same thing, turning around again. So do that a few times just to get the hang of how to pass the wing from one hand to the other and to change directions. And then it'll be a lot easier to do it on the water if you've already practiced it on land. Tacking, which means going upwind into the wind, is a lot more tricky because you have to kind of turn through the wind quickly and get power on the other side quickly before you slow down and come off the foil. So I'm still working on that. I think today was the first time I did it, and I pulled off a couple of tacks, but just barely, and it is pretty tricky. But it's also something you can practice on the beach and get the handling down before you try it in the water, and probably save you a few wipeouts. So I would recommend trying to grab the wing by the handle as much as you can, especially like if you get worked by a wave or something like that, or if the wind's super strong. I wouldn't just rely on the leash to hold it. And gusty conditions, it's kind of scary to have just that little leash holding that wing, because if anything breaks, that wing's going to be gone. There's no way you can catch it. There's lots of companies making these wings already, but they're kind of in short supply right now. You kind of almost have to pre-order them and wait for them, be patient. I have a 4-meter Duotone. Derek Hamasaki has a 3-meter Duotone. Jeff Chang has a 4-meter sling wing from Slingshot. Some other really good foils on the market are the Ozone Wasp, which we're going to have in stock at our shop soon as well. You definitely want to look for a wing that's lightweight and has good handling. On the sling wing, there's different air chambers. So after Jeff pumps it up, he closes off the valves on the different chambers so that if one of them gets punctured or loses pressure, the other ones will still have pressure. So that's kind of a nice feature, and you want to make sure that all the valves are secured properly. On the Duotone wing, there's this one valve that you close and then screw shut. To carry the foil, you want to hold it away from your board, opposite side of the foil. So you have the foil pointing upwind and then the wing on the downwind side of the board to carry it down to the water. I like to carry mine upside down and kind of hold it against the handle. That kind of lifts it up even if it's not that windy. If it's windy, it'll kind of automatically lift the foil off the ground. The first time I tried wing foiling, I used a bigger board, a 6-foot stand-up foil board that I'm pretty comfortable on, and I used the big downwind wing that I use for downwind foiling. It's a 2,000 square centimeter Carver foil wing that I used, and it helped me just kind of get up at lower speed, come out of the water early, and keep it flying at fairly low speeds, which was good to learn on. And then after my second session, I switched to my smaller board, a 5/8 stand-up foil board, the Carver foil board 5/8, and I switched to a smaller wing as well, the 1580 Carver foil with the long mast, the 30-inch long mast. So that combination is what I'm using right now, and it seems to work really well. In the future, I might even go to a smaller wing, especially on the windy days, because being on the wave and you're going fast, having a smaller wing should give me more control, something that's suitable for higher speeds. Jeff is using the 4-meter sling wing, and he likes using the really big Armstrong wing at 2400 Armstrong wing. He says it lets him fly pretty easily, come off the water easily, and keeps flying. It's a little bit draggy. It has kind of a lot of drag, but that's actually can be a good thing because you can kind of stay on the bumps, on the slower moving bumps without going too fast. If you have to self-rescue or paddle in over shallow reef or just to get back upwind, you can attach the leash from your wrist to your ankle and then put the wing upside down in the water and then paddle on your board like a surfboard. If it's real shallow, you can also flip the foil upside down and paddle with your chest on the bottom of the board. So that way you can self-rescue. If you can't make it back with a wing, you can paddle upwind or over shallow reef. So let's go over the launching process. First, I get up on my knees while the wing is still on the water. Then I lift the wing up, get my hands on the wing, and then slowly let it pull me up a little bit. And then while I'm slowly moving forward and feel stable enough, then I put my front foot in the right place, and then I get up on my back foot, find a comfortable stance to stand in, and then slowly try to power up. If the wind is light, I kind of look upwind to see if there's a gust coming, and then once I feel enough pressure in the wing, I pump it a little bit, drop it down, but not so far that it touches the water. You want to avoid touching the tip of the wing on the water, and then give it a couple quick pumps, and at the same time pump the board to engage the foil. And then once the foil comes up, you're going to accelerate, and then you're going to feel the pressure actually increasing in your wing. The foil has very little resistance, so it's actually fairly easy to go upwind with it, and you just have to angle the wing so you keep the pressure in the wing, and you can go at a pretty steep angle into the wind. It's a little bit harder to do on your backside if you have, on your toe side, if you have the wing and your body kind of twisted. But if you keep the wing a little bit over your head and find a comfortable stance with fairly straight legs, it's actually pretty easy. One thing to keep in mind is that sometimes when you go into a hard carving turn, the lift will actually, the foil lift will actually increase. So you want to be careful not to breach the foil when you do a turn. So you want to kind of keep your front foot pressure, kind of start into the turn kind of low. So if you lift up a little bit, you don't breach. And then do a nice carving turn, let go of the backhand, and then switch the front hand to the other side, and then get the wing pulling you the other direction out of the turn. Sometimes I actually like jibing onto a wave face. I actually flip the sail almost before I'm turned around, and it helps me kind of just pull me through the turn onto the wave. And that's super fun thing to do on the wing foil, because you can kind of turn almost at the top of the wave and then accelerate down on the other side of your turn. Tacking, which is turning into the wind, is definitely more tricky. You have to keep your speed up and hand the sail over your head to the other side and have the wing start pulling you into the other direction, and quickly keep turning the board through the wind so you don't slow down. So if you don't do this quick enough, you will slow down and come off the foil. So going downwind in a jibe is a little bit easier because you can kind of take your time. You won't drop off the foil right away because the wind's pushing you through the turn basically. If you're tacking, the wind will be against you and will try to slow you down, so you kind of have to turn through the wind quickly and have the wing on the other side quickly so you can pull out of the tack. Another thing that's really fun with the wing is just going downwind and riding the bumps. You can just kind of let the wing go a little bit and ride the bumps, and then when you slow down or you need to connect to another bump, you can just grab the handle again, get a little bit more power, and keep going. So it's a really cool feeling to be able to have just enough power to stay on the bumps if you slow down, but then you can also depower and kind of just hold it next to you to ride the bumps or the waves. So for me, this new sport is like learning foiling all over again. It's a super fun challenge. Every day you get better and you have another best day ever. So to me, it's just an awesome challenge, and I'm super excited about it. Can't wait for the next windy day. Unfortunately today the wind kind of dropped off, and it's the first day in this week that I haven't been able to go wing foiling, but I'm looking forward to the next windy day and going out again and getting a little bit better every time. Special thanks to Tyler for shooting this video. He was on the beach flying the drone and shooting all the footage for this video. According to people I've talked to that have some experience trying different wings, some of the best wings on the market right now are the Duotone wings. I really like those because they have a boom. It allows you to move your hand back and forth. This kind of reminds me of a windsurfing sail. So it seems to work really well for me, but that's so far the only one I've tried. We're also gonna have the Ozone wings in stock soon. The Ozone Ozone Wasps. We're getting some custom ones with our Chromagfish logo on the foil that should be really cool. Those are coming in early October. If you want to reserve one, we have those coming, and also more Duotone wings. So you can reserve those at our shop coming soon. Other good wings I've heard are the F1 sling wing. That's another nice, good performing wing. And yeah, so those are probably the best on the market. You know, get some input from other riders on what to try, what's good, what's not good. It's still a new sport, so I'm sure we'll see a lot of development in this sport. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. And subscribe down below if you haven't already subscribed. We'll be coming out with more videos on foiling, wing foiling, stand-up paddling, all the good stuff. Just having fun on the water and sharing the stoke. So have a great day. See you on the water. Aloha.